Hey everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Best of 3 Call of Duty Esports Podcast. Ooh. I'm Josh, SalvationsElite. To my right is Sam, Bash_BO3 on Twitter.
Yeah.
And to our farthest right, per usual, is Rex, ShadyNero, and boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between. Guys, this is about to be, I said this last week, maybe the most packed podcast yet, but this is the most podcast. What? The most packed podcast. This is the most podcast you'll ever watch. Yeah, but either way, there is a lot that's gone down. Before we talk about any of it, I've got to ask, guys, what is going on?
Josh, with the news of Pristini.
Yes.
Yep.
And clanking keyboards is making me run a race that I don't know. It's like a marathon, and I'm ready to hunt down a Huntsman.
Did the phrase
no
clinking? Wait, we just clinking keyboard.
The wheels totally fell off. Right now. What just happened, guys? Okay. We just witnessed like a just a T-bone car accident right there. Like, what in the world just happened, bro?
That was so not normal from Rex.
No.
That was so just.
Well,
sometimes we have those days.
Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah. No T-bone car accident.
No. I don't. Yeah,
doing okay.
I don't know. Really,
nice.
I'm not quite sure how to follow up on that. I'd be honest with you, so.
Yeah, I'd imagine. So, of course, like I said, you can follow us on Twitter, SalvationsElite, Bash_BO3, and ShadyNero, and you can find us where you can listen to podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Shout out Joe Rogan. He just got his podcast officially moved to Spotify, so he's getting the bank. He's getting the bag. Can you imagine how much he's getting paid for that?
Oh my gosh.
One day, guys. One day, of course.
One day.
And YouTube, of course, if you guys are watching, you can watch us on YouTube. Before we get into any of the crazy news this week, of course, the Pristini news, the London Royal Ravens, a whole lot more. Yo, Sam looked down and saw the paragraph. I'm shortening this thing up. But
the dude's got like a page
of a ton
review.
of news to go through. But first, we're gonna read some reviews here. I'm gonna skip the first 2/3 of this because Mr. I Can Do Dat absolutely left he left an essay. But he says, now as for the podcast, that's how the 2/3 of this said. Now as for the podcast, you guys are hilarious AF and the vibes are great. You guys seem knowledgeable about the scene and present everything in such a nice and refreshing way. The topics you guys talk about are great, and you guys even manage to make the game recaps entertaining. So basically, you guys are awesome, and I generally look forward to each and every podcast. Keep up the amazing work. P.S. When are you guys going to take this hottest operators list seriously?
Gosh,
Give the people what they want.
It's everywhere.
Facts. I am Dudat. Stay fresh.
Dude, and it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, and we're getting scarily close to our deadline for this. So you guys might be Rex is getting excited over there. We're gonna read a second one today, of course, from It's Your Boy.
It's your
9900.
Wow,
the legend himself.
What's up,
These
bro?
guys actually have their stuff put together and make good points. Only podcast I listen to for Call of Duty Esports.
Oh,
your boy, thank you. You're the man. You know you are. And we appreciate the reviews, of course.
We do.
Stay fresh.
We do. Oh, no. But we do appreciate the reviews and everybody commenting. Again, if you left a review, we'll continue to spread them out. We got to keep the few that we have left to be read because they're far and few between.
Yeah, thank you.
But they shouldn't be because you should be leaving a review right now. But all right. Thanks, guys. All right, here we go. Call of Duty.
Wow.
Our community fantasy league. What we've done the past few weeks is happening again. This time I wanted to switch up the format. So we're doing a pick 10 style for the community fantasy league this weekend. So go down below in the comments. I have the pinned comment. You can join the fantasy league there. We appreciate that. Of course, do that at the end of the podcast, obviously. I mean, right. But that'll be a blast. I'm excited to see who comes out on top. But all right, as for the news. Of course, we start off all the podcasts talking about challengers whenever there's challengers news. And this week in the challengers world, bro, Triumph back-to-back in the NA, man. Fellow, Royalty, Nagathon, Standy, and Dave Petey found their way to, of course, with Coach Mochilla. I mean, we have to give props to where props are due.
It's all Mochilla. Came out on top again. It was actually kind of a surprising weekend because the second place team
which many of you may not have heard much about, but it's TCM squad. He's been in the AM scene for a while now. He's a cool dude. I like him a lot. But TCM, Noisy, Katani, Fame, and Diamond Con came in second, actually. Like, beating out UYU, came in third. Doug Censor Martin, who came in fourth, which, of course, was the team name for
I love it.
Apex Cities, Apox, Emery Ruiz, Pro Loot, and Perform. And then we got Carnage Gaming, FaZe Academy, top 6. And then we got like Rebel Esports, little man. We got the names, inside the top 8, top 16 again. So.
Where's Parasite in all this?
Parasite, I think, finished. Yeah, Parasite and Westar had bad performances this weekend. Parasite finished top 16, and Westar finished top 16. So those kind of been the guys to keep an eye on these past few weeks, and they both had really bad performances. I mean, Awakening is in the news lately. He's on Westar, of course, with Spoof, Gentroid, Zaptius, and Glowfrosty. And Awakening's been in the news because there's some rumors that he might find his way onto a particular Florida team.
Yes.
But we'll talk about that in a second here. But so another really interesting weekend in North America when it comes to the challengers, following up last week's open bracket for Florida. And then the European team again, man. Team War. Back at it, back on top.
Singularity.
Yep. Singularity third again.
Jeez.
I mean, we'll see how that roster change continues to affect them moving forward. And Train Hard, the French squad, came in second this time again. So they've been improving, I think, basically week in and week out, and we've seen them moving up the ladders here, the leaderboards, and finding their way to the top like 3 basically the last few weeks. So we'll see how that keeps on progressing as well. So of course, APAC. You know how it goes over in the APAC.
Yeah.
It's always the Wild Renegades this time around. So that's Fada, Swifty, Setzy, Crimson, and Pred. Came out on top with them. So, of course, the challengers updates, we'll keep them updated. The drama with Parasite with the whole, finding the new squad. And every week there seems to be a Parasite drama going on. But it was a juicy weekend with the challengers as a whole. So
it was.
There's a lot more news, though, as a whole.
Yeah.
COD Champs format and pricing, though. That was announced.
How does $4.2 million sound?
Pretty dang good to me.
Really good.
4.2. Okay, so 4.2 million is the total prize pool, with the top getting $2 million.
Yeah, it's actually nuts.
That's insane.
No, 4.6 million.
Is it 4.6?
Yes, 4.6. Yeah.
For some reason they said 4.2 on here.
Yep. 4.6.
Anyways, 4.6, even more. But yeah,
math is hard.
2 million.
It's actually wild, though.
And then $1 million for second, even second place.
Yeah, so how it plays out is
crazy. First
place gets 2, second gets 1 mil, third $500K, fourth 300, fifth 200, then top 7 or 6th, 7th is 125, then 8th, 9th is 75,000. Unfortunately, don't come in last or second to last because you ain't getting nothing.
Which I don't know if there's any pushback to that, but the fact that even all 12 teams are showing up is an improvement. Yeah. So it's you can't really complain that all 12 teams are showing up. If you want to get money, don't get last or second to last. So as simple as that.
Yeah, literally.
But, so was it officially announced that all 12 teams are coming out? Because we've known for a while, right? That
not until today was it announced officially.
Was the official? Okay, gotcha.
Only players leaked it up until this point. Cool.
I'm pretty sure it's TJ.
Great, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Just what we needed.
But yeah,
players to give us all our info.
That is cool. Again, though, I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about it. I haven't told players, but that's awesome. I'm a fan of that. You've seen all 12 teams, and there's still incentive to become top 4 because the top 2 teams get 2 buys.
Yeah, get 2 buys, and then
which is
third
huge.
And fourth get a buy.
Yeah,
as well. So
if they're saying there's no incentive now, that's wrong. There's so much incentive to get first place.
Yeah, and then the bottom teams have to play play-ins. So
yeah,
there is a lot of incentive still to. Yeah. In theory, if you're the 1 or 2 seed, you could just play 3 matches for $2 million.
That's insane.
It's let's say you're FaZe, you come into this thing, number 1 seed, you literally would only have to beat 3 teams.
Could you imagine?
To win $2 million.
Could you imagine $2 million?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's pretty insane, though. I mean, we've never seen that big of a difference between first and second place for prize pool. Yeah. I mean, it's $1 million grand final.
Could you imagine a game 5 round 11?
S&D 1v1 coming down to $1 million?
Could you imagine if TJ Halley heading the bomb site for $1 million?
Ego chow on bomb for $1 million. Oh no!
Whoever loses that 1v1 is getting roasted.
Yeah. Yeah.
for the next
I
coming
mean, again,
years, dude.
no matter what people say, like those numbers are going to bring eyes.
Yes.
And I mean, like Rex, what are your thoughts on it? You've been kind of quiet over there.
I think it's great. I think it legitimizes further Call of Duty.
Yes.
I think it's the biggest prize pool we've ever had in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It's gotta be, yeah.
And I think it's almost also due to just franchising and being part of Activision. So I'm still happy with being franchised, being part of Activision.
Yeah. It is, yeah, I like what you said. It legitimizes, like, this is real life-changing money,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, COD, you have to stay up with Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite's putting out numbers that are just mind-blowing every
Huge.
week, it seems
Yeah.
like. And like with like Warzone Wednesdays and stuff, like even Warzone Wednesdays tournaments, by the end of the year, if they keep doing this, it's going to be pretty massive. So it's like, you got to at some point compete with that. And this definitely does it. So, I mean, like if some casual COD fan in August hears, you know, grand finals are about to start, $2 million for first place
On the line.
a lot of casual fans are going to tune in.
It's like,
So,
wow, this is crazy.
and especially if they can figure out a way to do it on LAN, like a lot of sports are starting to start up now, or like getting the idea of starting back up. So if we can figure out to do some sort of LAN system for this, even if there's no fans there, that would be ideal and like really legitimize COD Champs.
Yeah.
So, and that would give good momentum to go into the off season, which gets me pretty excited. But when you pair that with the next piece of news, Rex, Mr.
So
Emblem.
our next piece of news, big news, guys. You can earn emblems and sprays and animated calling cards by watching live the Call of Duty League matches. So
Yes.
if you're a
That's pretty
grinder,
cool.
you're a completionist, you want to get everything in there is to get in the game, start watching some COD League. And honestly, my opinion of this, it's always a good idea to do stuff like that. Overwatch did it. And people enjoyed that. People like to get the skins in Overwatch. They'll probably like to get the emblem sprays and stuff in this. Personally, I wish they'd add like operator skins with this and like maybe special operator skins and things like that.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Because I mean, who?
Oh.
I mean,
Could you
personally,
imagine a world where you watch the COD League and like if you watch an Arc Love S&D 5v5, you get the TJ Halley skin and you can now play as TJ Halley.
That's so weird.
And,
That's so
and
weird.
head glitch that bomb as TJ Halley.
Bro, he'd be so short.
You're like peeking over the bomb.
Sorry.
Wow, unnecessary
Yeah,
digs
I
there,
know.
Sam. Wow.
But yeah, no, that would be weird though. Like
Yeah.
to like 3D print
One day,
Like-
dude.
like professional Call of Duty players. That'd be weird, bro.
It'd be
that would be
dope.
crazy.
But I think overall, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen success with this, like in a lot of other esports. We've seen it with like Gears of War
Gears
did
of
that
War
too.
is huge on that.
That was huge
yeah.
for Gears of War. So even if it's not that big of a deal, I think it'll bring at least another percentage of people in. Like, may as well.
It could
throw
bring
on.
some like casual,
Yeah.
like I said, casual completionist sort of people
Yeah.
to get in and get those things. I still think if they added operator skins instead, it would make people want to watch more because that's more noticeable, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I
And,
mean,
yeah, and like
but like for like a competitive fan who's maybe you wouldn't tune into like the Paris versus LAG game, but like now you throw it on because you're like, well, I might get the skin. So like that'll help give like a nice baseline viewership as boost as well. So moving forward though, there was some Doug Censor Martin news this week, guys.
there was.
A whole bunch of news this week, and some of it was Doug Censor Martin related. Obviously, if you
Dougie.
guys saw kind of some of that drama going on with Doug on Twitter, he posted an I Quit video, just titled I Quit, and of course, clickbaiting us all and
Clickbait.
thinking, oh, he's retiring again.
Yeah.
He's done. He's trying to quit being a substitute, move his way out into the Challengers League, and play Challengers. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Because he's still trying to figure out how that's going to work with his contract with New York and how that actually plays out for him to be able to play Challengers. Because originally they thought that he was going to be able to play this weekend.
Yeah.
But then he said, oh, wait, I can't. And so the team he was going to play with had to find somebody else. And
Yeah.
long story short, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Is it the right move for Censor? Or do you feel like if his end-all be-all goal is to get onto a starting roster, like what's his best bet?
I mean, it
yeah.
seems like the best bet is to be on a challengers team. I think the only people we've seen actually utilize, I guess a few people have utilized their subs, like to actually make them starters, like Toronto does.
Right.
And then I guess OpTic Gaming did.
Yeah.
But again, with
And
that,
Seattle.
wasn't Chino, was he not playing on a team?
No, he was technically a sub.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
but
know he was
think
scrimming with
the
another
point, though,
team, but maybe it's just for practice.
obviously, New York does not want to use him. I mean, they used Happy, then they brought in Mac Melts. They don't want to use them, and now their team seems to be pretty set for at least a while now. So there's no future for Censor on the Subliners. So at this point, like, why not, right?
Yeah.
Try to find your way to challengers.
Does he need that salary money from them? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
So.
He's Censor, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great move because Censor, if he really does want to, you know, his goal is to be on a starting lineup. He has to overcome his stigma, which is, you know, in the pro league, which
being Censor.
everyone does not believe that he should be. In my mind, the pros do not think that he should be on a starting lineup. So he has to overcome that. How do you do that? Well, you make waves.
You win challengers.
You win challengers. So I think this is the right move for him. But it is really cool too to kind of like that. I think he is shedding light on an issue with, you know, the
there is an issue there for sure. I agree.
It's weird. Like, I don't understand why you can't have substitutes play, like make an amateur team and play. That doesn't make sense to me. So I think this is gonna help fix a problem, which is obviously bound to happen with the first year franchise league. So I think he's, you know, using his platform in a correct way to shed some light, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea going into it with the rule that subs couldn't play on amateur teams is like for the exact situation that nearly happened to Seattle last event. Was his power goes out literally right before the event, and now like Enable has to play, you know, and if he's playing in the open bracket that day, then
do that. Yeah.
There's a lot of conflict of interest there. But at least in my opinion, like, if you join a team and the team knows that's potentially an option where you're going to have to go play with your pro team, that's just like an underlying acknowledgeable issue that you have to overcome if you're willing to play with him.
Absolutely.
In the open bracket. But I think more than likely it's going to be a situation where like they figure either he gets released from the team, gets bought out, or like, you know, ends his contract, or like they actually amend a rule for subs in some way or another. So it'll be something along those lines.
For sure.
But yeah, so I think overall it's a good idea, but we'll have to see how that plays out, and we'll update you guys with more information on what he ends up trying to do there.
See if he gets a team or not.
I know. All right, so the next little small piece of news isn't as crazy, but it was interesting enough that for a hot second there,
couple seconds,
dedicated servers were an option in custom games. So you could like launch up a custom game and like have a dedicated server for yourself, which is pretty crazy. We haven't seen that in COD before. Yeah. And of course, AMs were so excited about that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, anyone would be excited about that as a whole. Because I mean, if you're trying to scrim a team, like nothing's more annoying than trying to scrim a team. They're West Coast, you're East Coast, and like, well, we can't even scrim. Yeah. Like this connection is literally terrible. So that middle connection, that neutral server would be amazing for that to help provide support for the AM scene, and like chows and everything else would be a lot smoother. So pretty exciting, I think, overall. Really cool. And like, I don't know. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that as a whole, or just like hoping it actually ends up being an official thing?
I mean, it would be great if it was going to be an official thing. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen. I wonder if there's kind of them. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe they're just like testing it out and like it accidentally got leaked out there. But yeah, I almost feel like it's not going to happen. And it was just a mistake.
Based on how things been going this year.
Yeah, that's kind of my opinion about it. But obviously, it'd be great if they had it.
Yeah.
It definitely is weird. Like why? I mean, I would say I have no idea what coding looks like, you know, or
how that works.
Anything, but yeah, like why was it there and then not there? It's like
what in the world?
But yeah, hopefully, you know, I think it'd be so cool.
The fact that that's even like a possibility is pretty exciting. So hopefully, for like the future of COD, at the very least. That could potentially be there, which is exciting.
If nothing else, something to look forward to in future titles.
Yeah, hopefully, you know.
Hopefully.
I mean, okay, real quick. Yes or no answer. Yes or no answer. Will Modern Warfare ever have rank play this year? Yes or no?
No.
Rex?
No way. It's so late.
When's the next COD come out?
October.
There's no way, bro.
I'm going to say no as well, which is so depressing.
Like, I gave up on it like February. I'm pretty sure. Like,
yeah, after like the date of Black Ops 4.
Yeah, it's like there's no way.
Yeah. It's tough.
That's so sad.
It makes me literally want to die.
Was this the first COD since? Well, Infinite Warfare did it?
Yeah, no, Infinite Warfare. Yeah, so, thanks Infinity Ward. All right,
can't they just like give us a bad ranked play system at least.
I know.
Like
Give us a
they
broken
have
at this
it
point.
made. They have it made.
Absolutely
Like the CDL
do.
playlist is there. I love the CDL playlist, and then they don't have.
Just throw in a little elo system, wins and losses.
Just throw in the elo system that you kind of already have built in the game.
Literally just wins and losses.
Mhm.
And just
you
give
gain
us an
20 points
icon
for
or
a
a
win, you
number
lose
with
10
it.
for a loss. Literally nothing else.
Yeah.
I'll at least kind of be happy.
There. Yeah.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
exactly. like I'm hoping
Bro,
they're
throw us
using
some
the CDL
breadcrumbs.
playlist to build on for the next COD, so the next
Yeah,
COD can come
well,
out the
that's-
rank really
that's a
fast.
very
And they're going to
silver
use
lining.
the data from this
Hopefully.
COD for the
Yeah.
next COD.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
a- my
that's
hope.
silver lining at
But-
the best. But
Yeah, that's big.
that's probably a combo for another day. We're
Yes.
already we're gonna be time crunched today anyway. So
All right.
players meetings. That was the thing that happened this week as well. There's so much that happened
So
this
many.
week. Basically the news kind of broke like end of last week or so that this is random.
Mhm.
The league is having a meeting with players and executives about potentially removing Dom and like other rule changes to this year.
Yeah.
And so like apparently the players voted on Dom being removed.
Players and
and
higher
executives.
ups
Yes.
and executives voted.
Assuming including like coaches, general managers, maybe owners. We're not sure.
Maybe. Yeah.
But we found out today, of course, that, okay, what we all expected, Dom is staying in the rotation. I don't think anyone really expected them to
No.
remove one of the 3 game modes this late into the year.
No.
If this
way.
was a vote in like February,
Oh yeah.
then I would have, there's a good chance it gets
Hard
removed.
chance. Yeah.
A pretty good chance it gets removed. But at this point, like it was either that or play
Yeah.
another search and destroy, another hard point. But like,
Yeah. Which.
do we really want to see Ramaz a hard point every single series or something? Like, no, not really. I'd rather take my odds with like a Dom, like a Hackney Dom or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was listening to, again, no free shout outs, but podcast. Nails
free
Pac-Man.
shout-outs. What?
But Pac-Man had a good quote. He said, if like you want to remove Dom for the fact that it's boring, think about playing a CTF in this game. Like that would be so boring. Like to watch.
It would be boring.
Maybe.
If,
Like-
well, just 'cause of dead
just get a
silence.
smaller.
The
If they
problem
could just
is
make a
dead
whole new
silence.
map
That-
set for CTF, I
Yeah,
think it'd be
it's
kind of fun.
it's the maps. 'Cause, like once you get the flag past a certain point, it's over. Because like the spawns are so broken that you can just hold them in that spawn.
Probably.
You get it past a certain point, it's over.
Yeah. I
But-
mean, no,
but
I agree.
Yeah.
Like that was it was never going to happen in the
No,
first place. It's
yeah.
like where the game's at right now. But it was just such a weird timing. It's
It
like,
is
what in
weird.
the world?
Mhm.
Why is that coming out now? Like, what?
Yeah, it is cool though that like to see like they're like willing to vote on something like that.
Yeah.
which is cool.
So like maybe that was only like a small aspect of the meeting,
Mhm.
like, and that was just all we heard about, which is possible. Like they were talking about all these other things, and like, oh yeah, by the way, we're doing a vote for do you want to keep Dom or not?
Mhm.
Just vote. You know,
Yeah.
like that could have been all it was. But all right. Want to do nameless? The nameless on no free shout outs. But on their podcast, they talked about how he was almost the GM of OpTic Gaming
That would be so weird.
back in the beginning of
Would
the
be
year. But
weird,
then
yeah.
basically, long story short, he accepted the job. But then the CDL offered him a job as talent for the league, and he's like,
gotta do
sorry, OpTic, but I'm gonna go be talent for the league.
Yeah.
Sounds like a little bit probably easier of a job as a whole,
Yeah,
and better for the brand. You know, so I mean, any thoughts on that? Like you know,
Yeah.
instead they hired Mud Dog, of course. I mean, Rex, what are your thoughts on that? As you are an OpTic fan.
I mean, honestly, I could care less. I mean, great. You could be a GM for OpTic. You could not be a GM and be talent. Doesn't matter to me. I think he's good talent. I think he's a good voice to have on the talent cast. So
Keeps things
I'm
controversial.
glad he chose that.
Yeah.
He's a GM for OpTic.
It's
I mean,
so
he
weird to
said
me.
that he built this OpTic roster.
yeah.
Or he helped
like
build it.
he like helped build the roster, which is weird.
So he helped build it, and then they're doing
So Rex, how do you feel
terribly.
about
So
that?
he might have gotten fired anyways.
Yeah, he probably got fired anyway. That is funny.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's not that crazy news because it's just like this almost happened. But I thought it was worth mentioning on the pod because it's really interesting to say the least. And then, of course, they hired Mud Dog, so all cool stuff anyway. But the last piece of news is not CDL related, but Call of Duty 2020 related. We
Ooh.
want to, I don't know, a quick little opinion on the potential of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So Gaming Revolution, kind of like the infamous leaker at this point for COD News, talked about this at his source, and like other sources he's heard from other people have said the same thing, that the next Black Ops game, next Call of Duty game is a Black Ops game, and this Black Ops game is set in a Cold War era, likely called something along the lines of Black Ops Cold War.
Mhm.
So All right, Rex, lead us away. What are your opinions on a Cold War Call of Duty game for 2020?
Here's what I want in a Call of Duty game. Make it fast-paced.
Okay.
Make it colorful.
All right, off to a rough start.
I like jetpacks,
love
but
the
Cold
colors.
War.
Yes.
But Cold War is probably not gonna have jetpacks.
Oh.
I personally like jetpacks. I wish they'd come back. But whatever. Boots on the
outnumbered
ground is
here,
good
wow.
too, as long as
Yeah,
it's
you are.
fast-paced and colorful.
Well, it's looking down for you.
Yeah.
I know. A name like Cold War, it's old, so of course they have to put in old little colors and
Again, man,
Film.
I'm still all
Great.
Broken
about.
down gray
I'm
buildings.
still all about.
yeah,
an
bro.
alt-
Gotta put in that stuff
Broken
because
down
you know
gray
buildings.
we're in
100%,
ancient
yeah.
times now.
Yeah. I am a jetpack kid, so
Yeah, Sam. Yeah.
anything that's not advanced warfare, I'm going to be a little disappointed in. But I totally agree with you, Rex.
Oh
that
my word. Who am I doing this with?
I do have confidence though in Treyarch. They do make colorful video games though.
They do.
So,
yeah.
and I don't know why you have a problem with colors in video games.
No, I don't have a
because-
color
Yeah, how
problem.
could you not like colors in a Call of Duty?
I-
It makes
no,
every
I-
Call of Duty better.
What? I'm not
Like,
hating on colors. I'm hating on Sam thinking AEW is like the best COD of all time.
It is the best COD of all time, no
AW
doubt.
is pretty good.
Oh
but-
my word.
Yeah,
AW
no.
is so fun.
Yeah, I actually
Here's
like,
what they need. Go
sorry.
ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say like I like pretty much agree with 100% of what you're saying. Like fast pace, good map. Like again, maps are just the biggest thing. Like if
Yeah.
you scroll up on maps, the game it doesn't matter how cool the mechanics are. It's like the maps just suck.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you know, obviously you think Black Ops 1 when you think like Treyarch,
Cold War,
Cold
era.
War era, you know, Korean, Vietnam, like. So, in my opinion, I personally like Black Ops 1
Yeah.
quite a bit. I know
Wasn't
there's
bad.
a lot of controversial opinions on there about Black Ops 1 as a whole. Obviously, we have a whole podcast talking about CODs as a whole.
Yeah.
But we want to throw it out there. I mean, Rex, did you have something else to say about like the game as a whole, or what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think I want them to bring back UpLink. But I don't think
I
that's going to
know.
happen with Cold War. They'll do that one that they did
True.
in World War II where
Like
you're
Gridiron.
playing like Gridiron.
It
Like,
like
Gridiron was just different. It's just like
Yeah.
it's not the same.
They-
UpLink, you got like you can dunk the ball, you're
I know.
wall
Uplink
riding and
was-
doing these crazy maneuvers to get the ball and throwing it.
yeah. I probably
It was
should
fun.
get onto this.
We're
'cause,
not-
like,
we can't get onto this.
I know, I'm sorry.
We'll be here
Yes.
forever if we go on to this. Guys,
People could catch the ball in the
you know,
air. Like that was like
we'll
the
do an
coolest
off-season
stuff to
podcast
see.
about
Formal
this for sure.
interception.
Oh,
Oh, my
no.
gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna
sorry.
be here all day.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, so that's something to keep mind on. I'm probably make a video about it at some point, talking about it as well. So, all right, now we're on to the real juicy news of the podcast. Of course, is the roster changes.
Yeah.
Roster changes.
There was a lot.
a lot. I mean, my goodness, so many
Yeah.
guys that like are affected by this week.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously the big one.
The big one.
The big one. Pristini officially confirmed to the Huntsman. Finally, after all the rumors of the past week, or 2 weeks really, Pristini officially is sent to the Huntsman. But
Mhm.
the twist is, not for any player. It wasn't a trade. It was actually a buyout.
So weird.
Florida, in this whole thing, not only did they not get Gunless, they announced that they benched Maux.
Mhm.
Hey, well, we're gonna give you a great player, and then we're also gonna bench our fifth player, and then not have a fifth player to replace him
Yeah.
What are you trying to say? Maniac's on a fifth player?
with. Oh, bro, I forgot about BTH, baby.
Bro, BTH,
Bring him
man.
in, dude. I forgot that he's still a sub.
He's still
That's-
on there, bro. He's on the website.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
You know, just talking about Pristini to Chicago, I think everyone would agree that his playstyle is what they needed. Now it's just a matter of can they come together as a team and make it work. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the question.
either.
All right, Rex, I want to hear what you have to say about Pristini to Chicago.
I think Pristini Chicago, great. I love it. Honestly, I'm not as much as hating on Florida for what they said. I mean, Gunless is probably a really expensive player. And I don't know how much money Florida has, but I mean, Pristini was probably a lot cheaper to buy out than getting Gunless. So if they traded Pristini, they couldn't
I
do a
have no-
straight trade.
That
They'd
is
have to
true.
give
What?
Pristini and also have to give them a bunch of money to get
Yeah,
Gunless.
I have
That's
no
my guess. That's my
problem
theory. But then they
not
bench Maux.
getting Gunless.
I'm sure they have something in the rabbit hole already planned
In the
for
works.
Maux.
Yeah.
There's no way they don't. They didn't
Yeah.
just do that.
Okay, all right.
Pristini
okay.
wasn't
Let's
even
talk-
playing anyway, so Pristini, it's like whatever. They
Right.
got rid of him. They made some money. Now they got more money to buy a better player for their fifth.
Okay.
I didn't even think about the salary cap.
No,
on-
okay,
on-
no, okay. So that's the thing. So right now, as far as we know, Huntsmen are over the luxury tax. So just like the MLB, how it works is, when you go over the salary cap, you have to pay an additional tax on top of the money you're going over. So they're definitely paying some sort of luxury tax right now.
There's no way they're not.
With holding Gunless and Pristini's contracts.
Yeah.
So that's what we know for a fact. But like, it's a weird situation with like, I wonder how much money Florida's spending at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you'd have to imagine that Pristini was probably the biggest contract on that team.
Well, yeah,
and I bet they got Pharaoh cheap. I bet they got Pharaoh cheap.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I
so
totally agree.
They got some money that they can get somebody pretty good.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. So, okay, yeah, let's stick on Pristini for a little bit, and then we can transition to how this affects like Maux and Gunless.
Yes.
But I mean, obviously we're gonna do our predictions, so maybe we don't have to talk about this as much right now. We can talk about it a little bit more when we get to our predictions. But like, do you see this as a definite upgrade to what they were, like, say, a month ago with Gunless? Like, Rex?
I mean, it's hard to say right now. I mean, from the scrims I've watched, they don't look very good. But, I mean, I hope they do well. I love the twins. I don't know. I hope they do well. And I think the vibes, honestly, are going to go up on that team. I think Pristini's elated to be there. I don't think Pristini has a huge ego, and I think that might have been Gunless's problem. So now you got people who are Pristini. He's going to be able. He wants to give, instead of ego. So I think it's going to be good for the mentality of everybody on that team. I think everyone on that team was very used to being like really great players, being the best. And they all were thinking that, and it's all just like all-stars, all just kind of like bashing heads, thinking, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. Now they got Pristini, who's like, I know I'm not the best, but I'm here to help you guys, and he's also a great player anyways. So I think the mentality Pristini's going to bring in is going to be good. RC is going to be happy. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Pristini is a better individually skilled player than Gunless.
Obviously not.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would really ever say that.
Yeah. However, like you were saying, Rex, between the vibes and then Pristini being a selfless player. Yeah. I mean, that dude will just charges into the hill selflessly and just gets kills, right?
And statistically, he's like the fastest paced player in the league.
Yeah.
Him in a sim.
This is what they need. But again, like you were saying, like, obviously the first scrims are going to be rough.
But they have to fall into place, you know? And like, you have to get used to playing with that guy they didn't have before.
And like, like, can they do it before champs? It's possible. Like, not saying like their ceiling is high now. Like their ceiling is very high right now. It's just a matter of, can they get it together, which I do not know. I don't know. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think, like I said, of course I talked about this in the videos if you guys saw that, but like reflecting more about this, I agree with you that like where the personalities, how that fits together makes a lot more sense now with the mentality of helping the team that Pristini is going to bring. And I think the roles make a lot of sense too. I totally agree with that. But I just don't know if this is exactly what they needed or not. I'm not convinced that that's the case. Yeah. And from what we've seen from Scump this year, he's been good in S&D, but he's been average. Let's just say not what you want Scump to be in Respawn. And I mean, I would say the same with Formal as well. Overall, they both need to be better if the Huntsmen are going to be in a top 3 team the rest of this year. Yeah. And especially, I mean, specifically to compete with FaZe and with Empire, because I mean, they are a tier above everybody else at this point right now. So it's like, that's why I'm just a little hesitant with Pristini. I mean, at Florida, Pristini was like dropping like 0.9s, 0.85s. Yeah. There was kind of a reason why he got benched. I mean, he was struggling a little bit.
He was.
I mean, he had the good few series in CDL Atlanta where they end up beating the Huntsman, and then everyone thought he was insane. Yeah. And like in that tournament, he did play really well for a handful of series, but like as a whole, he still struggled. So like that's why I'm a little iffy on it. Yeah. If that makes sense.
You know, it's funny. Arcitys never beat his brother.
I know. And now look at that.
Crazy.
Would you look at that?
He's up 1-0.
And he never even beat his team. Because
never
beat him twice.
Yeah.
Even without Pristini.
It is kind of funny how that works.
Huh. That's tough.
Yeah, that is real tough.
But so We'll talk about more of that. We'll talk more about specifically about Pristini and the Huntsman when we get to the predictions, since they're obviously playing this weekend. But how does this affect Gunless? How does this affect Maux? And what's happening with Florida? We'll start with Gunless first. All right, Gunless is benched. He's chilling. Obviously, in Hex's podcast with Gunless talked about how there weren't very many options for him in ROSTERMANIA. I mean, it was basically playing with Arcitys or bust. Yeah. And lucky for him, the Seattle roster fell through with like Arcitys and Octane, and those guys fell through. And then it worked out for the Huntsman thing. Let's just start with an easy yes or no. Does Gunless play as a starter before Champs?
Yes.
Sam?
I'm going to say no.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. I want to hear the no first.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, by no means. However, I think contracting his buyout is going to be pretty big.
The luxury tax aspect.
And then also, again, is his stigma. He has a stigma now that, like, he couldn't make it on the Huntsman. The Huntsman didn't want to play with him. Does anyone else want to? Like, do people want to take on that risk of vibes being destroyed? But again, I can see that, I don't think he's, me and Rex would probably go at it, but I don't think he's that toxic of a player.
It's actually kind of ironic that you said no and he said yes.
I know, yeah. Yeah. Definitely is. Because like I'm on the side of that he's not toxic, but I think his stigma in the league... Not
like horribly toxic,
I just think his stigma in the league is too hard to overcome at this point, and people are trying to figure out their teams before Champs.
As like rosters are starting to like solidify right now.
Solidify, so I don't think he will. But again,
it is tough timing to be benched.
Horrible timing.
Yeah. Okay, Rex. Shoot your shot. So with the yes.
I mean, it's kind of okay. So yes, he is. I think he's a really toxic player. Like, the fact that nobody wants to team with him and he's one of the best players in the game, like, nobody wants you. Even bad teams don't want you. Like, he must be pretty toxic, dude. And then he gets on the Huntsman, and then he's benched on the Huntsman where he's like with his best friend or ex-best friend now. I don't know, Arcitys, and like even Arcitys doesn't even want to play with him anymore or live with them. So it's like, okay, Gunless got something going on.
Unfortunate, man.
So it's but Gunless is really good, and I think some really bad teams are gonna get desperate and be like, hey, like, we could look at Guerillas or something.
Paris.
They'll be like, or even Toronto, possibly.
OGLA maybe.
Yeah, be like, we'll Seattle. Take you. But can they buy out the contract? No.
Yeah.
So either Huntsman will like take that hit or something, or Gunless might just be like, no, I'm just not going to play for any team. And I think that's the worst decision he could make right now. Gunless kind of has to redeem his name.
Yeah, because he's got to think about next year too. Like, if he wants to stay in the league, like, he's got to.
Yeah, so we don't really know where, like, how the contract's exactly. Obviously, we have no idea. We just assume he has a pretty big contract. We don't really know. Yeah. And we don't know if there's, like, a no trade clause involved with this type of contract where, like, he gets to veto where he goes. Like, we're about to trade you to Paris. No.
Yeah.
Yo, we're going to trade you to London. No. We're going to trade you to Toronto. No.
Yeah. Well, you know how Gunless is? He'll just be like, well, I'm just not going to play.
Yeah, I mean, he pulled it last year with LG.
It's not really illegal. Like, it's just like, you're just kind of, okay. He's just not going to pick up his controller.
Yeah. So, I mean, but the thing is
what
like.
What can you do?
What's your play, though? Like,
I don't know.
If you don't want to play with if you, like, don't find another team this year, now you're basically banking on expansion teams next year.
Yeah.
To then get on a roster.
He can't do that. If he does that, nobody's going to want him for a guy who's so, like, wishy-washy whether he's going to play or not,
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I think
you're paid to play,
should
play, but he's the type of guy who's like, he'll be paid to play, and then he'll be like, no, I'm not playing. I want to be on another team. You have to trade. Like, dude, get your ego in check here a little bit. You're not so good.
Man, I really thought he was going to get traded to Florida. I really thought he was going to go to Florida. Like, I thought it made a lot of sense. Like, okay, yeah, I mean, Maux is kind of struggling to decide if he wants to play MP5 or AR, and like they want him to play MP5, but he doesn't really want to, and like Gunless made a lot of sense to me in that team, but I know the argument was like, are Pharaoh and Gunless really going to work? How's that going to play out? Because Pharaoh can be opinionated and have his way, and then you got like, a lot of vocal people on that team as well. So it's like, how'd that play out? So I guess I get it, but
maybe Gunless didn't want to go there.
Okay, let's give us,
I don't want to go
who's
there.
your top 2 teams that Gunless, in your opinion, could go to? If he's going to go somewhere, who would you put your money on?
Seattle, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, maybe Seattle.
Seattle, Octane, Karma trio there.
Yeah, but I don't even know who they get rid of unless they got rid of Enable again. Or maybe they get rid of Karma. I don't know. It's tough. I think he's got to go to a bad team like Guerillas or some people who are willing to get rid of their players.
If Rokkr don't perform this event, that would be an interesting.
Man, that's a sim.
A sim, yeah. If Rokkr does not perform mainly a sim, I could see that happening.
Would it make sense to bring in a person out? I'm Rex. What do you think about that? I feel like you wouldn't agree with that.
It's weird. I mean, because Silly and Gunless have teamed together before.
Yeah,
I don't know how they interact with each other. I know
can Silly
they used to go
Gunless?
they used to go to like whatever, like their concerts and stuff together, kind
Emo
of
night concerts.
Emo night.
Yeah, so like I know they did those things together.
My word.
I don't know their relationship per
True.
se.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. I feel like Silly is the type of guy who maybe could handle that, and he's much more lighthearted and could take that in. But if Gunless has really gotten to this more like toxic place where it's like, okay, now you're too toxic. Like he's not an AM just making it into the pro league anymore and trying to make a name. Like he has a name now, and now he's just kind of
it's okay.
killing himself by being
like,
so
let's
toxic
say, like,
about
the
it.
argument, like OpTic, him going to OpTic versus him going to Minnesota. Like in Minnesota, like he has a lot of power in like that room when it comes to like, all right, I'm Gunless. Who are you?
Yeah.
Like
I
Alex,
think that, but I don't think Minnesota wants that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it makes sense to bring in Gunless. Obviously, you just threw that out there, but like I don't think the dynamic would make sense. Where like Slasher can put him in his place. Dashy's like, I've been better than you the past 2 years. Like I can put you in my place. Yeah.
But that team doesn't need more toxicity. I mean, unless Chino is just the beacon of all things non-toxic. That somehow just makes it so everybody else is just cool.
Nah, but they're taking that. They would replace Chino with Gunless. That's what would happen there.
Well, then I don't see that. I mean,
because Tej played with that.
Would be so mad all the time.
Tej tweeted at Gunless after the whole news. Tweeted like the goat emoji at him, and like you never know, man. You never know. Like what could happen there. I would say OpTic's the most likely spot for him.
That'd be interesting.
Do you think it would help? I mean, they had great players. That's not true. They had JCap there. I mean, I guess it would be a step up, but I just don't know because it seems like they'd be so toxic. Like,
yeah, it'd be weird too. Like
they hated playing with each other, and now you're gonna add Gunless, who's super toxic.
Well,
it's like
if you start winning, it fixes all. Everything.
I know
everything fix. If you start winning, yeah, but
yeah, and like would they do that? Like just like after coming in second place?
No, yeah, that's the thing. That's probably why it hasn't happened. I mean, they have to at least try another tournament with Chino before they make any other decisions.
I feel like Chino's so good for this team. Like they need him there just for the vibes. Wish Chino was better, but
he's the glue.
Not,
yeah,
I mean, that's what makes this
his
weekend so
vibes
interesting.
are unparalleled. He's the best vibes that you can pick up.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think that's why it's just so interesting this weekend because like if OpTic gets destroyed, then you're like, all right, maybe they do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, otherwise you're looking at like, if the Rokkr choked, maybe the Rokkr, but then probably it's like OGLA. I mean, like the LA Guerillas, but it's like that Gunless isn't gonna make
Gunless
them.
would not want to.
Why would Gunless want to go there?
I know.
Or like Paris. Why would Gunless want to go to Paris?
Yeah.
And it's like the Mutineers at least made some sense because then you're playing with a team who like has seen success, but obviously that's not happening now. So it's like, I'm not convinced either that Gunless is gonna find a spot.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, mind blowing. But I'm really 50-50 on it, which is why I wanted to see your opinions. I'm gonna go with a very like not confident. Yes, it'll find a squad. But all right, Florida Maux. Thoughts there? What in the world? All right, so the rumor has been that Awakening, the West Star player, has been like linked to them in a way. and like that would only make sense like if like that's why they're benching Maux. Obviously, everybody assumed that it was because of Gunless.
Yeah.
But then like,
Didn't happen.
what do you think about them benching Maux?
I know. I mean, I guess you could say he was the one that wasn't performing, but at the same
He
time,
was the 1-to-1.
he was the one. But you can also make an argument for like Havoc and Frost though too, because like they've been so inconsistent.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like I wouldn't have said Maux was the for sure one to get benched.
Maux sounded pretty like heartbroken.
Oh yeah, like you like it seems like it like went down really horribly. Whatever.
Well, I mean, it came off as if like Havoc and Maux were kind of like a duo. Like,
Yeah.
all right, these guys are
Definitely.
you're not breaking them apart.
Yeah. So yeah, I if it wasn't Gunless, I don't know, but apparently it's Awakening. I don't know. I honestly like it's a weird place for Florida to be, but they obviously have something in mind. Like they wouldn't be stupid enough to not have a fifth ready to go.
Maybe.
maybe I'm giving them too much credit.
They do
I don't
have
know.
a few weeks. They don't play till June 5th.
Yeah, so they got
They
like
don't play till June 5th, so they got a few weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Maux tweeted, "The worst feeling in the world is realizing the miles that you went for people that they would not go inches for you. And yes, I'm feeling this right now."
Think about Spacely on that Gen G team last year.
Yeah, it's probably maybe that was copy pasta from what Spacely
It probably
tweeted.
was. That dude got treated horribly last year. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what to say about
Yeah,
it.
Rex?
Because
It's weird. I don't know why they did it. I think they have something planned.
Awakening?
But here's the thing: is Awakening that much better than Maux?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're banking on Awakening being better than Maux.
Like I could see them. Maybe they'll pick up Fellow or maybe Nagafen. But
I mean, some people think Awakening is like the next dude. Like, some people do think that. So I wouldn't be shocked. Like, if that's the thought in the answer, like Awakening might be that good, then like take your shot with them. But I mean, he's placed great this year overall. I mean, you could make the argument like what's happened with that, but I respect the pickup overall because I think Awakening's a pretty solid player. But like, you are banking at that point on him being better than Maux. Excuse me, which is like it's a tough bet
it's
to
not
make.
guaranteed they picked up Awakening either.
Oh no, yeah, definitely not. It's only a rumor at this point. We have no idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough situation. Obviously, we'll talk more about that probably next week when we hear more about that. I mean, at some point soon they have to make a move if that's actually what happened here. So we haven't really heard any other news. If everyone seems Maux is still saying supposedly that he's still benched. So it's a weird situation. So we got to keep moving here, else we're gonna never get finished here.
Yeah.
All right, Zero and Enable. So Zero might be headed to the London Royal Ravens. Somebody was scrimming on Joe's account for the London Royal Ravens this week. Not really sure what happened, or like we don't know exactly who it was, but everyone was saying it was Zero. In the case that London, I mean, it hasn't officially happened yet. So like, they're playing this weekend.
Yeah.
So if it's happening, it's got to be announced within the next like 24 hours probably.
Yeah.
So maybe by the time this podcast is out, then it's announced. But otherwise, it's a weird situation for that right now. And then as well, of course, Seattle situation. Enable's back. We kind of already talked about that a little bit. But give me your opinion on both those and like what your thoughts are, how they improve overall. They're both playing this
I
weekend.
would like to see Zero on another team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really fun to see him there. Jared hasn't been really up to par. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
think.
he hasn't.
So I think having Zero go there seems like a good move. And then Enable back in the starting lineup. Hope he does great. I have no idea how well he's been doing as of late, but I hope he's a lot better than he was before. And I hope he has that fire underneath him, and I hope he's passionate about the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree too. Like Zero for sure. I feel like Subliners, that was just a meshing problem. I don't think it was his skill problem. So
Yeah, I agree.
I think Zero could help this Ravens team
Yeah.
finally break through that barrier of greatness where they've really been on
I
the
just don't
cusp.
believe in Shawnee though.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah. But and then Enable, I just don't know. Like,
Doesn't make him better.
I just feel like this team is gonna like that. Like, I feel like the Enable Pander trade to begin with was just a stagnant was a horizontal move.
We were kind of talking about that from the beginning. We're like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like
And
it's
then
gonna
this
do much.
move back to him is just another horizontal move. So it's like I'm just not excited about either one. But like
Yeah.
maybe like Rex, like you said, like maybe like this downtime like made him realize he is expendable, and so he wants to prove himself. That's the only like way I can see this being a vertical move. But again, I just have to see it. I don't think it's gonna change anything. Like, to be 100% honest, too much. But yeah, really like the zero move would be like the biggest. Like, I think that could be a good move.
Yeah.
So
move that actually helps the team. I agree with you. I think, the Seattle move is just really boring.
it's just.
I mean, I
weird.
like Enable a lot. Don't get me wrong. I like him a lot. But like that roster as a whole, I just don't think it makes sense for Modern Warfare. It just doesn't make sense for how Modern Warfare plays. They would need to bring in a Slayer, a big time Slayer, to really change this roster. To pair him with Gunless. I mean, to pair him with Octane and figure something out there. But Enable's. It's just not gonna make them a god team. But I mean, Crimsix apparently thinks it will.
Yes.
He's pretty confident in Seattle going this weekend, which makes no sense. I don't know how that works. But all right, we're gonna talk more about these teams in our predictions here.
Yes.
So let's get right into them.
Have to kind of
The Seattle predictions finally. Oh my goodness. Well, obviously I have to keep it moving here we don't go for 3 hours. But I'm down. It's a party here, right? We're having a great time.
It's always a party.
So here is the bracket. Oh my word. Obviously in Group A, we got London versus LAG, Surge versus Subliners. Group B, we got Paris versus Huntsman, Rokkr versus OGLA. Let's start off in Group A, London, LAG. Guys, who you guys got, and what are your thoughts here?
London.
I'm gonna pick London.
Yeah?
I think it's pretty easy.
Close.
Although I could see LAG making a strong. I think LAG could beat London, but I don't see it happening right now. I think London's weaker, but if they had zero, it could work. I think London's gonna win.
Yeah, I feel like if London had a little bit more practice time, or I mean, if London had less practice time, I'd be a little bit more hesitant, but I feel like they're gonna have enough time.
Yeah.
If they started scrimming over the weekend with this fake account situation, I'm confident enough in picking them to make it happen.
Yeah.
But it does give me a little bit of worry moving forward into the tournament. So, all right, we all got London moving forward off the rip here. All right, so now Surge, Subliners, of course. Sam, you want to type in your little number here?
I was on the wrong one. My bad, boys.
There you go.
My bad.
All right, Surge, Subliners here at the other side of Group A. This is a pretty interesting matchup, I think, especially if you believe in the Surge, but I don't think
How can we believe in the Surge right now? Like, they say it on Twitter that Surge is supposed to be good, but we haven't seen anything. At least I haven't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So, and Subliners have been looking stronger and stronger, so I'm going Subliners.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
The only thing, like, Surge, like, they have historically had a lot of close games where they've lost. Like, they've lost the majority of their close games. So like you can make an argument there where it's like maybe they start to turn those game vibes in their favor. But again, I don't see that happening.
That wasn't the case when Enable was there in the first place.
Yeah.
It's just like, how in the world
like,
can we justify that?
Yeah, like what we just talked about, like I don't see them changing anything drastically. So I think they're still going to be on that side of, like their S&D isn't strong. So
Yeah. Inconsistent.
I think Subliners have a more upside, and I think they're going to go pretty far this.
All right.
this
Well, we're
tournament.
all on the same page so far, but maybe that'll change here.
I think it might.
All right. So now we've got London and Subliners here at the top. What do you guys got?
So go ahead.
I'm going to take kind of a risk here.
Wow.
If zero shows up, I'm going with London
Really?
for this one. I think Subliners, I'm not prepared to give them full credit yet for like them being great. So I'm going to go with London. London has been a strong team. They started looking weaker, but I think if they had zero, I don't know. I could just see London coming back, and I think London could do it.
All right. I mean,
it's a tough one for me to swallow, though.
Yeah,
but I think
that's
London
tough,
can
dude.
do it.
I don't know how I feel about that. I just don't know. I mean, Sam, I think we might be in the same boat here. You
Yeah.
got Subliners?
Yep, I've got Subliners. London, and until I see differently, they're always going to be a good team that just can't make it.
Can't get over that
hump.
Get the next level.
And again, like we said, like we've seen some incredible stuff from Mac Melts. Again, we are in an online league, so you got to take that into consideration.
Well, either they looked good or the Huntsman looked bad.
That
in
is
Scrim.
true.
So I mean,
Yeah.
maybe that's the difference, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, Subliners moving forward, and they're gonna come out in Group A. The
Yeah, I
winners.
think so too. I'm gonna buy into that Mac Melt's hype at this
Yeah.
point. I mean, I liked him coming out, and he looks comfortable now.
He
And
does.
when you pair him with the slang power that the rest of the Italian stallion attached,
Attach looking really good.
temp. When you pair that all together and you got just accuracy sitting in the back of the map, it can work. And I think they're built to be successful on a 4 SMG meta right now on half the maps here. So it's like, I like the odds. I'm going to go Subliners as well. Takes us down to losers bracket, of course. LAG Surge for all of us. Are we all going to go the Surge route? LAG
I'm
going to
going
get skunked
Surge.
again here?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I
Poor
don't
guys.
believe in
Poor
LAG.
LAG, bro.
Just wasn't meant to be.
Do we have anything to say about LAG before we send them home?
I think they're a team that they could potentially surprise people, but it'll be that a surprise.
Sparts struggled a lot, man. I just don't know if Spart's the guy. You know,
Yeah.
I think Vivid has potential still. I mean,
Yeah.
Decimate, Blast, they all look solid at times, and then you've still got, you know, like you've got Aqua there.
Yeah.
There's
They-
just the pieces just aren't there upside wise to them ever be great.
They had an unfortunate, event of Aches and them just not performing at all, and then they substituted them out, and then their substitutes were meh.
Nah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they struggled too far up to this point. Maybe they start turning around now, but like, would it even
It's hard.
matter?
It's hard to bank it on anything at this point. It's just
Exactly.
pure luck, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's just pure luck of a guess
Yes.
for them when they're going to bounce back if they ever do. So,
Yeah.
all right, that sets us up for our final match of Group A here. I've got London Surge, Rex has got Subliner Surge, and Sam's got London Surge as well. So Rex, as the odd man out, who you got? Subliners or Surge?
I'm going Subliners for this.
Okay.
Bring them back. I think they can beat Surge.
Is it
Again,
more? Is
it's
it
just
more
because I
of
don't
Seattle?
feel like I know Surge that well.
Yeah.
It's just the reason I don't know Surge that well, but adding Enable, for some reason, I get an added hope for Surge, and I could see Surge winning, but I just don't know that. I haven't seen them play or anything, so I'm going with Subliners just because I know they have the potential to be good.
Really?
yeah, Surge for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So my thoughts on this are London
These are
seems
two teams coming off of roster changes.
yes.
Potentially.
London just seems to choke. Maybe not even choke, just like can't really get there. Like for
They
me,
can get to the semis.
I'm seeing London kind of flat right now. Not going down, kind of flat, but I see Surge is going up for some reason just because I don't know.
I don't.
It's not because of the roster change. I think the roster change again was a lateral move, but overall as a team, I think
Like
they
Apathy is finding his groove.
yes, like
His dad groove.
I'm talking more about the other guys.
Yeah, the other guys.
I can
Will Ferrell.
definitely Will Ferrell. No for
He'd
sure.
probably make the team better.
Maybe. I could see London winning this, obviously, but for the
I'm taking
bracket,
London.
for the sake of the bracket, I'm taking Surge.
I'm taking London. I mean, again, we've seen the worst of Dylan, and you could Skrapz at points too. Like we haven't seen great Dylan. We haven't seen the Dylan that we've been waiting to see this whole year. And where they're playing against, at the end of the day, they're playing the Surge. I don't need to buy into a full on like insane London team here to beat the Surge, which is
No.
why I'm taking the Surge in this one.
Yeah.
I think, I like Zero, and I think Zero's a definite upgrade from Jurid at the end of the day. And if they can get enough time in as a team to practice, like they could be interesting, and especially against a team that in itself hasn't practiced much in the Surge. I'll take London.
Would it change your mind if there wasn't the roster change? If George playing this weekend?
Yeah. Well, if both London and Surge had no roster changes, I might take the Surge.
Yeah.
But because I do agree with you that the other 4 players on the Surge, I feel like are at least
Sort
finding
of.
themselves.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. But all right, that moves us down to Group B,
Woo.
which is a really interesting group. Obviously, we've got 3 contenders plus Paris in this group.
Poor guys.
But it's very interesting with Huntsman roster change here. You got the Rokkr after their poor performance last tournament, and OGLA the risers, the
Second place.
Yeah, Mr. Second place. Money Cheen. But all right, guys, we got Paris, Huntsman off the rip here. Rex has already typed in Huntsman.
I got Huntsman, although I believe in Paris more than you guys do. I can see Paris upsetting, but I don't know if it's going to happen now. Going with Huntsman.
What?
No way they can, but
I mean, it's not the craziest thing ever. There's just
I
Paris
guess
has been
no.
one of probably the most toughest team to like predict this year when it
I
comes to
know.
like how they perform week in and week out.
It's weird. They're a weird team.
So you got Huntsman as well?
Huntsman, yeah.
Huntsman been looking pretty bad with their substitute, to be honest.
But you know, I think like first scrims are going to be a little rough, but it is true though. Like, you know, this is.
I think it's going to fix in like 4 days,
Yeah,
5 days.
Yeah, no,
Like
that's a good point. Like,
There's a world where Paris wins this.
yeah,
I actually do agree.
there
with you.
is.
I mean, if Pristini just does not click right away, like that's a real possibility. I mean, it's not like it's crazy to think that if you make a roster change 5-6 days before an event that you're not gonna be able to click right away, and you lose to a team that's been playing together since the beginning of the game in Paris. Like, it's not the craziest thing ever, at least. But I'm gonna take the Huntsman. I'll take the talent at the end of the day. The individual talent might be enough to beat the Paris regardless, and we've seen in the past. But they've had some close matches against Paris this year as a whole. So it wouldn't be surprised me one bit if Huntsman somehow got upset here. But let's move down to Rokkr OGLA, at least in my opinion, by far the most interesting match of the first round. A lot to learn from both these teams here. Match one, really?
yeah,
OGLA.
I'm going for it. I'm going for OGLA.
Wow.
I don't know, man. Again, could have been a fluke. Who knows? But I think Rokkr struggled. Chino came on, brought some good vibes. I can see it happening.
KD.
Yeah. I don't know. Slasher, if he plays outstanding again like he did last time.
And Dashy, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going with it. I'm rolling with the train.
Rex, all right, I want to hear what you have to say.
I think for me, I'm going to go with the Rokkr. Sam's right about OGLA with Chino bringing the vibes. Could OGLA fight? Yes, but I think Rokkr, the last tournament, they were underperforming for themselves.
They were.
I think. And I think that's why they lost.
This could easily be our grand final.
That's why I'm going with the Rokkr. I think Rokkr can redeem themselves. I'm expecting ASIM to start pulling more numbers.
Yeah.
It's the last week I'm going to say that. If he doesn't, then I have to give him up. But
Yeah.
I think ASIM can pull numbers and become a more solid player for this team. So I'm going with Rokkr.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of usually we always talk about like our bounce back players or whatnot from last tournaments. I mean, I'm expecting a Rokkr bounce back. And Rex like a 0.9 KD last event. It's by far his worst event of the year. If he can figure things out, whatever happened with that event, I'm expecting him to be fine here. But like, by no means, I think OGLA is a solid team for sure, and like they could easily win this. And I think this has a decent chance to be our grand final. But I'm gonna go with the Rokkr as well. I think I'm banking on a Rokkr bounce back this time around, predicting the Rokkr bounce back, and seeing what we can get. But it's ironic considering literally last podcast I did say that this could be the beginning of the end for the Rokkr, and then they got O2'd. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I can call for the bounce back and they can make it happen again. But all right, that next is down to our losers bracket here: Paris depends who we got. Paris versus either Rokkr or OGLA. Sam, you got Paris versus Rokkr. Who you got?
I've got Rokkr.
Yeah, I mean,
at this point of where Paris is at, I'm not really even. You just
don't believe in them.
I'm not going to put them to upset people that they shouldn't, and yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going with OGLA. Paris just hasn't been looking that strong.
I mean, I have to agree.
And OGLA just has that certain vibe quality. And I don't know. I want to believe in Paris, but I'm not going to believe.
But you really want
to
believe in your boys of OGLA, obviously.
No, they're not my boys.
They are not.
The boys, Rex's boys, OGLA. Moving on. All right, we got Huntsman, Rokkr. All of us. Wait, I forgot. No, we don't. Man. All right, Sam, you're the odd man out. You got Huntsman versus OGLA here.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I want to hear what you say, Mr. Formal. Who you got?
Yeah, for sure, Huntsman.
Oh.
I guess I shouldn't say for sure. But I'm picking Huntsman.
This is not for sure, Huntsman. That is not for sure, Huntsman.
No, it's not. I say it, but it's not true. This could easily be an OGLA. But I think Huntsman are going to come out strong. And then
give me a round count here. Does this go? What's the map count here?
It's either going to be a 3-1, 3-2. I don't see it being 3-0 by any means, but
yeah,
I could see it going to a game 5. I could see it being a 3-1-2. So
if it ends up being Huntsman OGLA, I'd predict 3-2.
Yeah,
Huntsman.
Yeah,
But
So.
hey, that's a buy. An unnecessary prediction. All right, Huntsman Rokkr for me and you, Rex. Oh man,
Rokkr.
you got Rokkr?
Got Rokkr. I think Huntsman been looking weak. And with the new addition, and Rocker's had the same squad this whole time.
I think I want to agree with you. Again, if I'm going to bank on this Rokkr bounce back, they're going to bounce back in a big way, baby. And I'm going to pick Rokkr as well. I'm going to pick Rokkr as well. All right, so that sets up Huntsman OGLA matchup for me and Rex, and an OGLA Rokkr matchup, a rematch of round 1 for Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So as the odd man out once again, Sammy, who you got here, OGLA or the Rokkr?
It's gonna be pretty crazy, but boom,
Wow.
twice.
So you're really bought into this Rokkr at the beginning of the end here?
Yeah,
To an
but
extent.
it could be more of a button into OGLA.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying Rocker's a bad team by any means, but I don't know. I've got a feeling.
Inside my bones.
I've got like a 55-45, like 55% OGLAs on the upside, 45% that last event was a fluke. So I'm going with the 55%.
Wow, nice.
I'm not very
nice.
So, sum it all up, I'm not very confident in this at all.
Really
but,
good.
Yeah. So great podcast. Yeah. So that it could, craziness can happen. OGLA.
Call of Duty best of 3.
Sorry. Go on.
All right. So, all right, Rex, you got Huntsman, OGLA. This is really tough for me, man.
this is really tough for me too.
This is
Like,
really tough
Part
for
of
me.
part of me really wants to say Huntsman, to be honest,
I'm scared.
but OGLA has been looking stronger, but Huntsman, they just look weak. But
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going with Huntsman.
No.
I think I gotta go with Huntsman. OGLA, it might have been a fluke. I want to believe in Chino. I want to believe in the vibes, but it's tough. I'm going with Huntsman.
Wow. Guys, we were talking about this before the podcast, and I think Rex was saying he was thinking about taking the OGLA here, and I was like, maybe I'll just take the Huntsman. I'm really 50-50 on this one. This is a 3-2 either way for me. 3-2. If Huntsman had lost to the Rokkr, they're losing to OGLA.
Woof.
Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah. They're losing to OGLA. If they lose to the Rokkr.
I could see it. I mean, I could see them lose to OGLA, but is Huntsman really? I don't know. I'm taking Huntsman.
Yeah, no, it's a tough match to predict. I mean, it all depends on how Pristini falls into place with his team, and like, how the roles play
What
out.
happens with OGLA?
Well, and if OGLA is actually improved, are they improving since the last event, or like was that kind of like their like prove it event? Now they're just gonna be OGLA again. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I'm gonna bank on a little bit of a rebound here from not a rebound, but a prove it OGLA, like solidifying their spot as a top 6 team, and here we go. We're in the championship bracket, the single elimination. I've got Subliners versus OGLA and Rokkr versus London. Really, really weird bracket for me here. Oh man.
Surge. Yeah.
All right, so me and Sam both have Subliners OGLA here. Rex
Yep.
has got London Huntsman, the two completely different lineup here for us. All right, Sam,
Okay. I'll kick us off here.
kick us off.
So Subliners versus OGLA. I am going to say Subliners take this one.
Yeah,
I think Subliners have had a higher increase in performance than OGLA's increase. So I just think with the skill wise, I think Subliners just take it.
man.
But yeah, those are my thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a whole, like how their play styles have meshed together, I just really, really like the Subliners as a whole. I think it only makes sense when you, like I said earlier, when you pair that slaying power as a whole with that team, and then you line them up one by one against OpTic Gaming. If they play the right maps there, if they're playing the maps like the fast-paced maps that I think will favor New York as a whole, they're going to win them. And so I'm going to take New York as well. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if OGLA's already made it this far with wins against the Huntsmen, it wouldn't be surprising at all if they end up winning this and punching their ticket to another grand final. But at the end of the day, I believe in Mac as a whole. I think with that roster, I'm going to take the Subliners. All right, Rex. London Huntsman for you.
So the fact that Huntsman got this far and that they're going to be playing London, I think I take that all back. I just remembered some scrims I watched where Huntsman got 100-point clubbed. It was a really terrible day, and they have barely had any practice with their new player. And London was the team they were scrimming against. So I have to go with London.
No, yeah, actually, that's really interesting because, like, I mean, basically, since the start of the online portion of the COD League, I mean, every single tournament has been something incredibly unpredictable has happened. Like, where before on LAN, we saw, like, you know, most things were going at least to what we'd expect. You know, but except for like maybe a Mutineers upset versus the Huntsman and things like that. But I mean, basically by the book. But then, like, you know, online, every single event, something crazy has basically happened. I could see it. I mean, if Skrapz, if he finds his form from a few weeks ago, and then Dylan is like, if Zero's the unlock key for Dylan, suddenly London's a really dangerous team. We've been saying it all year long.
London's been smashing the Huntsman in scrims, from what I saw. And
Stamp's fantasy.
It wasn't even like the first time. I feel like it's been like at least 2 days of scrims that they've played the Raven, and they got smashed both times.
It would be cool though to see Dylan back in Black Ops 4 form.
Oh yeah,
like,
it'd be awesome.
Like just to see that again.
It's just like how many times can we say it before it's just never going to happen,
like,
you know?
It could just not be easier. So
yeah, so we'll see. Well, I mean, we'll really see now that Rex is predicting this. All right, here we go. Sam?
Yep, Huntsman versus Surge for me.
Huntsman, Surge for you in the bottom side of this bracket.
Yeah, I think Surge kind of clawed their way to get to this point. But I don't think they're going to be able to take down.
Yeah, the Huntsmen are this far. They've already beat the Rokkr and OGLA in your situation.
Yeah, I don't think Surge could overcome that.
They beat OGLA and Paris in your situation. I think they'd be in pretty good shape to beat Hunt in the Surge then.
Yeah, so
I agree with you.
I don't think I'm sure Surge could take maybe a map off, but I don't think it'd be very close.
Yeah, we've all got 3 different like setups here. Rex has got Rokkr Subliners,
and I'm going with Rokkr for this one.
Nice.
So Subliners has been looking stronger. I'm still not a total believer. And Rokkr, I think, you know, like I said before, they didn't play as well as they could. And I think they can step up and play well. Ace can step up. GodRx will step up. I think Rokkr going to take that one.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, I'm here with you again with the Rokkr, man. If I have them going this far, they're back to form, baby, and this is their tournament to win. They're feeling it, and matchup against London, you know, in my bracket, London's beat LAG and the Surge to get to this point. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I think Rokkr still are a tier above London, in my opinion, and this would show it. Rokkr head to the Punisher ticket to the grand finals to play the Subliners in my bracket. So Sam's got Subliners Huntsman, Rex has got London Rokkr, and I've got Subliners Rokkr. So we got 3 different grand finals matchups here.
Yeah.
Sam, take us away. Why not?
Yep. I think Subliners are going to have a good event, and I think that's going to carry on, and I think they're going to be able to overcome Huntsman's recent change. Kind of like going off of what you said, Rex, that, you know, they have been struggling, and can they, you know, scrounge it back up in 3 days, you know, before the event? I don't know, but I think Subliners have already kind of started to find their groove with Mac, and I think that'll just be their game to take. So I've got Subliners winning it all.
Dang. All right. I mean, I'm with it.
Yeah.
If Subliners win it all, I'll be a total believer.
Whoa.
There we go.
Don't go too far out there now.
I don't know if Subliners are going to win it all. But and then for me, I have London versus Rokkr. And for this matchup, I'm going with Rokkr. I think London are going to improve a lot. But I also think Rokkr are going to start playing up to where they should be.
Could be Rocker's event.
And this will be Rocker's event. This will be the one. Has to be the one. This is probably the easiest event they could have.
It's
easiest
tough,
event Rokkr could have. Rokkr has to win this one.
Yeah, I've got Subliners Rokkr here.
You're the tiebreaker.
I'm the tiebreaker, I guess. I am oh wow, yeah, it's fun. Sam's got Subliners, Rex has got the Rokkr. I think ironically, I do think these are the two best teams. That's why they're in by finals. Ironically, you don't have. It's weird how that worked out, but I'm gonna hop on the bounce back bandwagon, and I'm gonna take the Rokkr as well. This is a really fun finals. I would love if this is the finals for this tournament. It'd be really juicy moving forward, especially because that means we have a new champion, Subliners or Rokkr, and I'd be all about it for sure. But yep, I think bounce back. GodRx is back in form. Alex back to slaying form. Assault's top 4 AR in the game, and a Sim and Silly just have to be decent.
Yes,
just like we've seen. The recipe for success is team based. How they play. Give me the Rokkr in the grand final for the Subliners in 3-1. 3-1. All right, let's do a few final questions to wrap this thing up. Obviously, we've already gone record lengths today. Record lengths today.
Yeah.
But real quick, MVP of the tournament, obviously, we got to answer that at least for your champion. So, Sam, who you got?
For me, Subliners, I think Attach would be the champion. It'd be obviously that, the you would think it would be Maux, but I don't know. I think Attach has shown a lot of like where he should be.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It could obviously be Maux, but I'm gonna go with Attach and just say that he's gonna be the reason why Subliners go to where they're possibly could be.
Respect
in my bracket. So Attach for Subliners.
Rex, you got the
For me,
Rokkr.
my MVP is going to be GodRx. He's going to show up this tournament. How could you not say GodRx?
He's got to be.
Underperformed last tournament. If they win, he's got to be the MVP.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I mean, if they're going to win, it's because GodRx is back to being GodRx of the first 2 months.
Exactly.
And he's going to be the MVP, so I totally agree with you. Do we want to do team most likely to bust?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's end on that.
Okay.
The bust.
All right. Let's end on team most likely
to bust.
Let's end on the bust.
Yeah.
Rex, who's the team most likely to bust?
I think for me, the team that's going to most likely bust. I mean, can I say the Surge? Like, who could you say is OGLA? I guess I could say OGLA might bust.
Yeah.
Like, who's been super hyped up that's considered a bust?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it'd be like New York, Huntsman, OGLA.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could say Rokkr, I guess, if you think that's a worry. I might say actually, honestly, I'll probably say Rokkr. My opinion. But yeah, I guess I'll just Rokkr. They did not look good.
Yeah. Last
tournament. I think it's a pretty big risk to say they're going to win this one based off what we saw last tournament. But they got really unfortunate breaks last tournament. It was so unfortunate. It could have gone the complete opposite way in multiple maps, and it just flipped their weekend upside down last time. That's why I'm predicting the bounce back. But there's a world where it doesn't happen. It doesn't click for them again, and then this might be the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And there you are.
If you're going to, I got to say that Huntsman are going to be the most likely to bust.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole
Pristini.
bracket, it's so difficult because it's like, you could say this is the easiest bracket, but there's no team in here that I'm like, they're going to take it all. Like, there's no team that scares me.
Yeah, because you get Empire and you get FaZe out of the way, and then suddenly anyone can win it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like any one of these teams could honestly, in my opinion, win it.
Yeah.
Except for OG or except for LAG.
Yeah.
Except for maybe LAG and Paris.
Yeah. But the other 6 teams are definitely contenders. That's for sure.
But my biggest fear is that Huntsman is going to do terrible.
Yeah,
But I don't have them playing terrible in my bracket, but it's not something I think it could happen.
Yeah.
Thinking about it more, I do think Huntsman is probably the best team to say here, just because like right now they are,
and from what we've seen in scrims,
from what we've seen, so like they literally could go like 1-2, 0-2. It's possible. So,
well, I mean, when you look at their matchups, I mean,
very possible.
They could. It's been close with Paris before. Like I said, if they lose to Paris, now suddenly you're playing OGLA in an elimination match. That's not easy.
No.
We play Rokkr in the elimination match. Not easy. Good luck, and then you'll be pretty tilted after losing to Paris.
Yeah.
So
story of
that's pretty tough. So
story of the event is anyone
can take it, which is why it's so exciting, and I hope we all are going to be watching it this weekend, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. This was our longest one yet, so thanks to you to all the OGs tuning in. Of course, go down below, Join the Fantasy League.
Yeah.
Compete against us. We're letting all the podcast listeners get in first before we message the Discord and get it all filled up and everything else.
Yeah.
So all y'all podcast listeners get a little bit of an exclusive
Woo!
getting in here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you guys did, like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. Share the podcast if you guys really enjoy it. We really do appreciate that. Of course, all the comments, all the reviews, everything goes a long ways. But as always, guys, I'm Josh. SalvationsElite to my right is Bash_BO3 on Twitter. And to our farthest right is Rex ShadyNero. And guys, we will see you next time. We out.